Welcome back, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer, so now let's talk silver. There's many different reasons why they don't want us investing into precious metals, why they will deem us as the rebellious tinfoil hat conspiratorial people that don't know what we're talking about, or that we're investing into something that doesn't have real value and that is just shiny. Even though they know why. They know why we invest in the precious metals. They know the benefits. But for their own liking, usually bankers or a financial advisor that's pushing you towards stocks or something, they don't want us to put our money into precious metals because that means we just took control of our wealth. If you have anything pegged to the dollar, then you are at the mercy of the dollar. If you put your money into precious metals, you have just successfully detached yourself from the system. Do you think they want you to do that? No, because the dollar is based off of people investing into it, people attached to it. Its faith, its strength is based off of that. So they don't want the truth getting out there. They don't want people like Andy Schectman coming out and exposing this stuff. They don't want that. We're going to go into that, but we're also going to be breaking down something a little different. Still the same reason why these people, not bankers, but these people don't want us investing into silver. We're looking at big tech as well, someone such as Elon Musk. So make sure that you like this video. If you like the video, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, kick your feet up, make sure you subscribe because I post daily videos, and let's jump into this. Now, for the first time ever, I think people finally are understanding that the banking system is not invincible, and now they are transferring their wealth into safe haven assets such as precious metals. I cannot believe that it took something like banks literally collapsing for them to finally realize maybe that's a good idea, but regardless, they did it. So since we have that situation going on, there's probably a lot of people wondering why silver is a direct threat to the dollar, or why banks wouldn't or urge us or even push the narrative of precious metals being a bad idea, or even someone like the Hunt brothers back in 1980, these three brothers deemed them as these evil criminals that don't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. They're not investing into precious metals, or silver in particular, because gold was banned at the time. They're not investing into silver as a hedge against inflation because they realize the inevitable demise of the dollar. They're doing it to corner the market, and there are these evil criminals that are doing all this shady stuff, so don't listen to them, which makes sense. They wouldn't want especially back in 1980 when there wasn't social media, or when they're on the news everywhere, people are wondering why are these three brothers buying billions of dollars worth of silver? Do you think the government wants to give them a platform for them to explain why? No. Deem them as these evil criminals is exactly what they did. So anyways, as precious metals moves towards the mainstream, especially silver, I think we're going to get more people wondering what makes it so much more valuable than even gold. Precious metals versus the US dollar in 2023. As of 2022, the primary driver for precious metals in the year 2023 will be the US dollar. It is true that the US dollar is currently in a state of overdrive, yet this overdrive is temporary. It is not sustainable in the long term, and that's exactly what we're talking about. It's inevitable. And since we know there's a direct correlation between the dollar, or a direct negative correlation between the dollar and silver, and we know that the dollar is going to collapse sooner than later, then what does that tell us? The dollar is bound to come across significant resistance over time. As the high demand for the US dollar was pushing down precious metals in 2022, the opposite may be expected in 2023. This dollar dynamic is the key to understanding the investments in precious metals in the new year. Precious metals are also susceptible to monetary policy. Economic policies have an inverse correlation with precious metals, and in 2022, the monetary policy was tight. This placed precious metals under stress. When silver and gold were all set back to break out in March last year, they were restrained by the tightening of the monetary policy, which they're talking about the Wall Street silver short squeeze. Expectations related to inflation are one other key driver to precious metals, but tight economic policies have certainly checked inflation. Still, once this tightening stopped, inflation will soar again. Investors may be expected to invest in precious metals to hedge against an upcoming inflationary economy. And this article definitely aged perfectly. This was written in 2022. So the prices of gold are also poised to soar in 2023. Some experts believe that gold will perform much better in the first quarter. The demand generated by the central banks is one reason behind this optimism. Moreover, ongoing geopolitical tensions are also raising the price of gold. It is true that most central banks, including those of China and India, have been purchasing gold quickly, which is true. Many of the countries in the BRICS nations, we're talking about Russia, India, especially with silver, Russia with gold, China, which is the biggest consumer of silver. We're seeing all these countries doing that, which makes sense once you understand what the BRICS nations are doing with this currency, which there's actually an article titled, "Is BRICS a Threat to the Dollar?" Which it definitely is, to the most extreme extent, to say the least. But you can see how this all is going to play out and why silver and gold would be that alternative. I say there's no solution because there isn't a solution. We're too deep in the hole to fix this problem. It would have to be a global reset or just put your money in something and let everything else fall to crap. But at least you're not having your money in that system as it falls to crap. So 2022 saw an immense physical shortage of platinum. Following the Ukraine crisis, platinum showed up a sharp price increase in the last quarter of 2022. But however, even though Russia is the second largest supplier of platinum, the concerns related to physical scarcity have subsided. Platinum has evinced a slight fall in price. Still, a push in demand for platinum over time may again soar prices. The precious metal may be expected to do well in the first quarter of 2023. So, regardless of platinum prices, or even we're not even looking at the time frame in this article. The whole point is looking at the correlation between the dollar, inflation, economics, all of this, how it ties directly into the dollar, and why, if you are at your bank or you're talking to a financial advisor, they are going to tell you, if any percentage, put 5% at most. But then they'll go and tell you something along the lines of stocks are a much better option for X, Y, and Z reason. But then when you talk to them about maybe going a different route, especially if it's something like Bitcoin or precious metals, where you're taking the control away from them and putting it into your own hands, you're going to see them get a little finicky. I had this exact situation myself where I had to come out and just say, like, you got to word this stuff very carefully when you're talking to a banker or, someone that's working with funds. But you just have to say respectfully, like, let me do what I do because I believe in what I believe, respectively. But regardless, when it comes to some things, diversification is key. Stocks definitely can play a part. I still think Bitcoin can play a part. I think everything can. Why not diversify beyond just gold? So moreover, let's check out this article. Elon Musk is a perfect mascot of the incredible importance of silver's role in this new digital technological era that we are quickly advancing into. Big tech doesn't understand the reality of this situation yet. Maybe they do with cobalt mining or lithium mining just because of the harsh working conditions, that's slave labor. But when you're talking about something like silver, I don't think they have a clue on how detrimental it would be, not only to society, not only to the economy, but to the well-being of planet Earth itself, with a massive silver shortage and us not having sufficient silver to make these solar panels and electric vehicles moving forwards over the next couple decades as we try to hit zero net emissions by the year 2040 or help solve this climate change global warming situation. It's going to be too late. It already is too late. We're starting to see some articles pop up. I even covered a couple research papers from scientists talking about why we need to start focusing on silver more. Every time you hear about scarcity in electronics moving forward, it's always having to do with cobalt or lithium, something along those lines. Silver's never in the question, even though that's one of the most important factors most important elements, as silver is irreplaceable, as it is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, and silver is the most scarce. Other ones are, there's definitely a puzzle to be solved there. It's usually just directed towards the harsh working conditions since they're in these third world countries. These workers are getting paid 10 cents a day, slave labor, to say the least. If you've ever seen the movie called Cobalt Blue or looked at lithium mining, it is terrible. But silver is also a huge, huge vital role in going green, and that's the one that could hurt us and affect us the most since silver is used in everything. So rumors have been circulating for some time showing that Tesla and SpaceX are desperate for silver. Now, this is an article titled "The Elon Musk Effect Has Also Reached Silver," and rightfully so, since silver is used in solar panels, which Elon Musk and Solar City, in electric vehicles, which Elon Musk owning Tesla, in space equipment, which Elon Musk owning SpaceX. Silver is used for everything that he is invested into, literally. So for him to come out and talk about Bitcoin or gold is just hysterical, because those are things he has nothing to do with. Yes, maybe taking his money out of the dollar, but if he's talking about gold, silver makes much more sense, especially since if silver's price does start rising, the cost of production for a Tesla would skyrocket. Mike Maloney and David Morgan, actually, which I've interviewed David Morgan on my channel, and I mentioned his letter to Elon Musk directly. We talked about it on my show with him. But if someone like Elon Musk, which is just the mascot, imagine Elon Musk, but on a much larger scale with any tech company. Imagine if silver hits $100, $200. What the cost of production would look like for an Apple, especially if they don't have a direct source to silver right now. If they're not already hoarding it, imagine them having to pay premiums. Imagine they're having a hard time finding it, as it's already hard enough finding silver. This could be an ugly situation. So let's look into this. Musk also briefly flirted with Glencore, a 10-20% stake in the Swiss mining company, confirming the multi-billionaire's interest. Musk has started following Wall Street Silver on Twitter, an online community that played a major role during the 2021 silver squeeze. I didn't know that. Musk is following Wall Street Silver on Twitter? That is massive. That is massive. That's a whole separate video itself. So Houston, we have a problem. EVs, solar panels, our electricity network, servers, and more. Everything that encompasses the energy transition contains a common metal, namely silver, which is one of the best thermal conductors, which I talked about. So I've already talked about all this, Tesla's energy supplies, yada yada. So the richest man on earth was a fortune of $340 billion, recently seen his wealth shrink by more than 60%. Because of the share of Tesla's fallen sharply in value. Despite this, Musk still has a net worth of $137 billion, so buying a silver mine shouldn't be a problem for the controversial tech tycoon. And yes, we're seeing, and the thing is, silver's a byproduct, so you're not really seeing silver mines. You're seeing miners looking for gold, lead, or zinc. If they find silver, they'll take it, but there's not any silver mines. I think the most recent silver mine that was coming up was in Canada. But that mine actually closed down before it even opened because Canadians protested it, since mining silver in their area would have polluted the water. So that one of those silver mines didn't even go up. There are some silver mines, but only a handful, a drop in the bucket compared to all the other mines. So if Musk is serious about Tesla's continuity, he will have to secure his silver supply, which is what I was talking about. If he doesn't have a boatload of silver right now, he is SOL. Like Mike Maloney did the math for him. So investing in silver means benefiting from energy transition. And also, why would you think Elon Musk isn't talking about silver for a reason? because he talked about Dogecoin, typed 4 letters DOGE, shot Dogecoin up thousands of percent. So if he talked about silver, everyone would go buying silver, it would shoot the price up, and then Musk would have to pay a higher price. So of course he's gonna keep silver on the hush hush. We've talked about a lot of this. This is stuff I talk about on my channel on a daily basis. I just wanted to talk about Musk in particular, right? We've talked about recycling rates. We've talked about 120 million ounces of silver used in solar energy today. Accounts for only 2% of our electricity grid, powered by solar energy. Solar panels, in the production of solar panels increased 15% this year alone. I just covered an article where solar itself is supposed to, by like the year, I think 2040 or 2050, use 100% of all the silver, not including EVs, not including investment, not including jewelry. I mean, we're looking at a situation that's coming up in the next couple decades that is just unfathomable. We cannot picture what this will look like. All we know is that would push silver prices through the roof to be minimal. I mean, if you're going off the fundamentals of low supply, high demand pushes the price up, yes, that will. No amount of suppression could try to suppress or quote unquote manipulate the price to levels we're looking at with silver's need in the upcoming future. It's just that's silly. COMEX would be collapsed ages ago when we're talking about in the next 20, 30 years from now. So anyways, I thought this was an interesting article. Yes, there's a lot of opinion throwing here. And that's because I was talking about hypotheticals. I don't know what Elon Musk is actually doing. I didn't know he actually follows Wall Street Silver on Twitter, but I guess that's the thing. So anyways, I'll link these articles in the description if you want to check it out. Make sure you like the video if you like the video. Make sure you subscribe, post daily videos. I'm doing some giveaways soon. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.